I thought you would be mine this Christmas. Ring, ring, ring.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be so random and a bit messy because I haven't made a proper plan, but it's going to be whether a business management degree is worth it, is a business management degree useless in today's generation, and also just my overall experience studying business management at Middlesex University. So if you guys don't already know my academic journey, you won't know that I originally studied or was studying adult nursing for about 4 or 5 months. And then, actually I kid, no, for like 3 months, yeah, about 3 months, because I feel like I dropped out at the end of November/December. I was doing adult nursing, dropped out because it wasn't for me and I hated every single minute of it. And then I picked up a business management degree because I really didn't have any other choice. But you can go watch that video to find out more. I'll leave a link down below on the cards. You can find out my adult nursing experience. I did business management. I picked up a degree in business management at Middlesex University. I started in January, so I was the January starters. Now, if you don't know, the starters in January for the business management degrees are internationals. The folks who start in September are just like people who already live in London or the UK or whatever, and they're picking up the degree in September. And then the ones in January, it's usually internationals. So when I came, Lord, I was like one of the few people that like was from here, that was from the UK, and that like, yeah, it was just like a really big cultural barrier for me. And it made it quite hard. Like the first year was pretty hard for me because there was a lot of language barriers. A lot of the students were speaking like Punjabi. If it was like teamwork, it was definitely a lot more isolating than if I was to start in September. So, but at the same time, I didn't have to like retake an extra year because I was a year behind because I retook in sixth form. And the way I was just so over studying the academics, I hated school. So for me, it was like I didn't want to have to retake another year. And if I took a gap year, I know for a fact I wouldn't have gone back to university. Though I wish I did that, so then I wouldn't have to go to university, but that's another case for another time. But yeah, so I did the January starter course, and that was, they say it's 2 years, but it's not. It's still 3 years, but it's just less months because you're starting from January. So you'll do, your academic year will be from January to July in the first year, and then the second and third year it's back to September to May. So it's not really much of a difference. It's just the first year. You start in January and finish in July. Luckily for me, when I started in January, I only needed to commute for 2 months because shortly after coronavirus happened and it was the peak of the pandemic. So everything was online. No one had to leave the house. No one had to go in. And guys, I saved so much money on travel because I didn't have to go in. I kind of didn't like going in anyway. It was quite far for me. It was about a 2-hour commute because Middlesex is in Hendon, which is in North, and I'm a South girl. So it was pretty far. So yeah, the first year wasn't too intense. The second year, again, wasn't too bad, I can't lie. I feel like the assessments was pretty straightforward. Everything was online. Again, I was at home, so I was studying. At this point, I was managing my cosmetic business, so it was a lot more easier for me to manage my business, be an entrepreneur, and also be able to study and pass. One thing I will say that I do remember vividly in second year was picking a module called business law. And that was honestly one of the most horrendous things that I could have done to myself because it was so hard and I hated it. And I remember I got like a 3rd in that module. Like it wasn't it. I don't recommend it. In my final year, I will say it was kind of tough because originally when I started my final year, I was working. I was literally working, like I had like 2 different jobs that I like stopped and started. So I was already kind of like focused on just getting my money up rather than studying, which meant I fell behind by the time January happened. And that's when I was like, I need to pattern up because I was also distracted with other things. So I was like, if I don't focus on this degree now, I'm not gonna pass. So I started like going into classes more. At this point, classes were in campus, so I had to actually go into campus for seminars, and lectures were still online, but seminars, it was in person. So I just remember like in January when all the workload just started building up, and I was like, okay, this is actually getting quite intense and I don't know how I feel about this. But by God's grace, I did end up passing everything. I ended the degree with a 2-1, so an upper second class, which thank God, because I wasn't trying to come out with a 3rd or a 2-2. I was like, please Jesus have mercy, because that just would have been a long day. So on average, loads of people get 2-1s or first. So now that I've explained my experience, this is just very general, basic. In terms of the social life, I just wasn't someone who put myself out there to socialize or to like meet new people. I just stuck to myself. I obviously met a few people during group work and stuff. We had a common interest. We made sure that we passed. That was just that. But in the sense of going out of my way to socialize, that was just not me. I just wanted to get a degree and come out. Having said my experience, do I feel like a business degree is worth it? The answer is no. I'm going to be very straight up with you. I genuinely don't think you need a business management degree to run a business or to even get a lot of jobs out there. Like a lot of jobs these days, if it's like marketing or something business related, they value experience more than they value a degree or a certificate or whatever the case may be. So I would say if you're someone who's been thinking about studying business management and getting a degree, maybe take a gap year first and get experience. And if you feel like you need the degree, then go. But I wouldn't say just go for the sake of going. I kind of like, my circumstances were kind of different, but if I kind of had the choice, I probably would have been like, no, I'm not going, because this is just, it's not making sense. And when I look back, like I graduated like 5 months ago now. It's been a hot minute. And coming out of university, I worked in administration, so I was working as a receptionist at a GP, and that was literally because I had a connection, so I was able to get my money up and everything. But I started my business while I was at university, but I wasn't really using any of the information I was learning at university to apply to my business. My journey with entrepreneurship was based on gaining the experience of being an entrepreneur. So everything I've learned and everything I can apply, like my knowledge and stuff that I can apply, is based on my experience as an entrepreneur. I've actually had experience. I've actually made the mistakes. I've actually made the money. I've actually grown. But when I look at the theory and stuff, I'm just like, I don't even remember half of it. Like I just remembered like rushing and trying so hard so that I could actually pass and get a good grade. That was really it. So yeah, I genuinely don't feel like you need to have a degree, or at least in business management, I wouldn't recommend it. Unless say if you're going to like, I don't know, one of the like, is it Russell Group universities? If you're going to like the Russell Group universities, you have a plan in place and you have some sort of internship program secured, 100% go. The thing is, you just have to make sure that you're getting some sort of work experience, because that's what's going to be so much more valuable to these employers, because they're not trying to get someone who's just come out of uni with no experience. They need people that have some sort of experience, whether that's you running your own business, that's you working for a startup company, that's you working for a big company, something. They need something out of you, you know, which is so harsh, but it just is the reality of things. So once you can identify that and understand that, then you can start to use it to your advantage and make sure that you get the experience you need, so then you have more options. Overall, I will say that Middlesex University is a good uni. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like if you're someone who's wanting to grow and develop, that it's a good uni. I had my own space to, you know, do my work in peace. I didn't have to worry too much about cliques and social life. Like, there are some universities out there you cannot be by yourself in peace. There's some sort of drama. I was literally by myself about 85 to 90% of the time. So I knew from the jump, I just want to get this degree and get out of here ASAP. And even just explaining this, I'm literally going back into time and I'm like, oh my gosh, it was a struggle for me back then. We thank God for growth, and I've been released of the chambers of this school system. I'm done. Thank you, Jesus. Just to summarize, would I recommend studying business management? No, unless you have a plan and you know you're going to get some sort of job experience, like within the industry you want to work at when you come out of university. I think the best thing you can do if you are going to study business management is to take a gap year to get work experience and then study the theory. But if not, then I wouldn't recommend it, okay? Everything happens for a reason. I definitely don't regret it, because at the end of the day, there was so much growth that happened. I wouldn't have started my cosmetic business if I didn't go to that uni, or if I didn't study business management. I wouldn't have invested a lot more time into my YouTube channel if I didn't go to university and study business management. So that's why, for me, it was a blessing in disguise, because it opened more doors for me coming out of uni. So I don't regret it. But if you're asking me, Helen, would you recommend it? No. Sorry, no. But guys, that was it for the video. Like I said, it was kind of all over the place, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't plan this, but I said I will film this, okay, before I start my day. So yes, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.